Welcome, everyone. We're going to analyze a series of games that will completely change um, what my future is like in the next couple of months here on four-player chess. So, this is going to be a five-game match between me and Michaela, who are 1800s, and Kuchtimi and Roadrunner, 18, who are both very, very solid, very, very good players here. And this is the regional tournament number 5 final. It is a series of 5 games here. Kuchtimi opens with, and we open with the classical. Queen pawn is blue, queen pawn is green. Kuchtimi plays the most common move nowadays, which is to play queen to k5. It is the most aggressive. Now the queens go out as normal there. Kuchtimi replies with the sharpest move on move 3, which is e4. We like it because it opens a diagonal for the bishop, and it sets up a trap later on should blue try to, for example, attack the queen. The queen could just move somewhere. If green goes here, then you have a trap. It pins the queen here. It's a really neat trap. It's my favorite in the classical opening nowadays. So that's why I like e4. Anyways, we play knight to c6. It's a great defense against, first of all, the pin here, and also allows the rook to defend the bishop, and potentially ideas like this. Anyways, yellow goes for j11, which is also good because it allows the bishop to come out and line on that diagonal. We go for knight to all9, blocking similar ideas of checks here. And now this knight here was to originally stop the bishop from coming there. He plays bishop there anyways. And the knight comes out. Queen goes to h11, which is an incredibly sharp reply to this knight move. And after we play l8, I mean, what can you do? You might have to trade queens here after, say, a knight here, a check here, and you trade queens. I think that's probably the best continuation here, but this game finishes off so quickly. Well played, Kuchtimi and Roadrunner. There was hardly any defense to this incredible checkmate that they found. Props to Kuchtimi and Roadrunner. They take the first game, and we go on to the second game here. And you'll see later on that that blue no longer plays a queen pawn opening, the third game. And we play different openings as blue-green. So we're going to start here. Standard Sicilian Caro-Kann opening with the Rezac-Raku variation of the knight d3. We like that move because it's pretty aggressive. It allows the knight to potentially check the king here if blue doesn't defend well. So the standard reply to that is c4, attacking the knight here, defending that square later on. And of course, we got to block that. What we see here is yellow play j12, which is one of the standard moves, but allows the queen to come out and does leave this diagonal exposed. So the bishop will have to have the responsibility coming here before the queen comes out, maybe. Anyways, we see the knight f4 move, which threatens this knight to go here and there check. And d7 is now the standard reply for blue, even though it leaves this diagonal exposed. It allows the queen to come out here, maybe even the bishop. And then they get control of this diagonal. So the weakness in coming out knight to d3 is having a diagonal exposed, but here comes the play. Bishop to j13, and the knight comes out. The pawn gets pushed here to block that knight. This knight comes out. Same here. And now you got the queen to come here. And let's take it back. I think better was probably to get the queen out. Maybe even the knight here, even the queen here. But we'll see why in a little bit. This queen comes to this square on f10, and after this queen goes here, I think there was a winning move here, and it was knight takes. And if the queen had come out, the king would have had room to escape, but that doesn't happen. Instead, okay, so yeah, they missed a winning move. The queen takes the pawn here. And this is where Michaela Ruth and I start getting tricky on them. This looks very exposing to us, but it actually allows us to later on take control of this diagonal. He checks with the bishop. He puts his bishop here, threatening a check on him so that he can't, take here. What happens is he has to block against that, and I bring the knight back, which allows the queen to be attacked here. And yeah, I do surrender control of this diagonal, but so what? And then this move. So here the idea is that this knight's coming here. So we insert this Zwischenzug, which allows a check to occur here. He takes anyways. I take the bishop back, and I see what's coming. I see that his queen's getting attacked, but this bishop is lined up against the king. After that knight moves, he checks, and then I check, and then we get the knight. But we knew that the king was going somewhere, whether it's here or here. The king was getting checked next turn. So it didn't matter if he took the bishop or not. Well, we got the queen out with check. Those checks are extremely important in this game. So I guess the main idea is that they missed a win here, and that we found incredible counterattacks to the attempts to come back. This game ends pretty soon. Lots of neat pins and stuff, and checkmate. So let's go on to game 3. It is 1-1, 3 more games to go. And yes, this does change the setup for the next couple of months here, but you'll see why in a minute. Michaela Ruth and I now have the blue-green pieces against Kuchtimi and Roadrunner. And I play Knight C9 with did you see that coming type ideas. And we tried to trade bishops, which we do, but we'll see that this is not really fast enough. And they're coming at me really fast. Now this, by the way, actually, that queen takes rook move was, of course, an incredible blunder. But the attack on blue is actually still pretty significant. I feel like maybe there is a way to maybe cover that square or something. That queen was still going there. We still have to threaten a check on him just in case. And then maybe that was not the best, but here, yeah, you are not in good shape here. I think you give up the queen, and we're down material. So yeah. You'll see in game 5 that we didn't, alright, what am I trying to say here? We didn't play the same opening as blue. And this is a lot of desperation attempts here. But here, we're down the exchange, the major piece exchange. Kuchimi makes a huge blunder, opening a line for the queen to be taken. Material is even now, but my development is absolutely cramped, so it is actually very hard to come back at this point. I'm getting checked. We're just being defensive here. And pretty soon this game is just over. And red, yellow will win here. Kuchtimi and Roadrunner 18 are leading the regional tournament number 5 final 2-1. On to the next game here. Standard Sicilian Caro-Kann, Knight D3 variation. And then this time, pawn up 2 here instead of the other move, which was to bring the queen out here. And pawn up 2 here as well. The queen comes out, which threatens a check here. And that is covered soon. Now threatening a double checkmate here. And also revealing next turn possibly with a hit on the queen. Anyways, so we get our bishop here, which is a move I absolutely like because it just blocks off that checking idea altogether. Pretty safe, and it supports a queen check here if there is an open check here. We don't have to fianchetto this bishop just yet. Although, I think here maybe a pawn push would have been interesting because of this move. In which case, I think probably the queen would have gone here. The knight would have gone here. And then you can block off that knight threat with the pawn. Oh, wait, no, take that back. Yeah, I think green actually missed a good move here. Hitting this bishop. And yeah, this is actually a problem for red. And this is coming very soon. Can't go back to defend it because this bishop is in the way. I think this would have been good play by blue-green here. Yeah, I'm catching things as we go along here, but yes, it's a pretty complicated game. Anyways, as played knight L6, just a developing move here. This pawn push stops this mate threat altogether. And knight move. And then go back here if this pawn push was made. And I defend against if this pawn push was made and I want like this and he went like this, then the solution would be to go here, threatening mate because this bishop is guarding that. So yeah, there was a way out. So as played, we got the knights developed on in front of the king for blue and green, pawn push, and now he goes for that. So that gives me time to bring my queen out to defend an attack right there, which we do see. And then we see a trade here, and then I take, and that opens a file for blue. And wow, we didn't see this one coming. This bishop here, and then knight here. Because this check was extremely dangerous. And I was actually checkmate or I give up my queen. So this is what we go for. I take the knight here. Threatening it this, also defending that. And yeah, there is dangerous stuff here. He did take there anyways. Rook takes bishop. Completely logical. This queen comes out. And then I bring the knight out. If I were to do this, maybe potential exposures of that diagonal later. Decide it's worth trading the knights. And that bishop comes out, but there's no real danger on the diagonal. The only problem with red now is cramped development. And we allow the queen to go to d13. I take here. And then the bishop goes back to defend. And this is actually a pretty good deflection tactic here. Because if the bishop takes back, then there's a mate threat here. Can only be stopped by this. I would be dumb to take a bishop at that point. And then I win a rook. So now we have a few pieces for the queen. Yellow gets pretty defensive here, but that's the best that he can do. And peculiar king move over here. I guess he doesn't want to be checked by the knight or something in the future. But I guess that may not have been the best move. It didn't look. Well, he also had this problem to deal with. There was one point where I think I tried to arrow a rook move here, deflecting the queen, but it was actually not smart. I think I was actually just a rook blunder. But anyways, I bring this bishop out. He moves the king over again. Really doesn't want to trade here because the knight's defending that. And then we castle. This knight move here doesn't really do anything to the king just yet. Look pretty safe. We go for some exchanges. Pretty safe to remove the queen from back here now. And then this knight take here attacks the queen, but now allows us to open up the file for the rook, and red's actually starting to get more active now. And that knight there isn't doing anything to the king. So this queen comes here, and they just hang a check here, which is pretty big here. After this knight comes here, blue gets checkmated. So yeah, I think blue probably had maybe a better play there, but his king was pretty exposed, and I could understand why it was difficult to play with his pieces. So it's 2-2 now. Tied game, going on to game 5. Let's start here. We go instead of the knight for the Sicilian opening. And in some of my recent games, I've played the Caro-Kann, but we go for the Sicilian because we know that they've been studying up on the Caro-Kann. So we go with, actually it turns out to be the main line, the modern Sicilian Caro-Kann play. And everything is standard. This is probably secondary to what everyone played in late 2018. Now the queen comes out. Pretty aggressive play from both sides. Knight coming out. Pawn to block that. An attack on the queen. Here. Queen, blue queen now coming active. And then green goes for the queen exchange, knowing that this is under a fire here. Incredible move by green. This would be trading queens as well, but we see a queen to move there. As the queen would have blocked the check, but yeah, we see attempt for the queens to be traded off here. Yellow, red's queens are active here, but blues and greens are active enough too. And a dubious move by blue here. We'll see in a minute. Roadrunner actually misses a significant win here Bishop f3 was definitely winning, but they go for knight to f4, which does, somewhere down the line threaten this stuff here. But bishop f3 was a definite win for red and yellow, and that was very critical here. So this knight comes here to block this queen's threat over here. Bishop here. Pawn to k10. Knight comes out. And now we hit the bishop. With a double threat here, basically. Knight takes. And now this uncovers a discovered capture here, so I have to block with the knight. The queen here. Knight there. Threatening a check, and the knight can't take because there's a mate threat here. So he checks me first. Knight there on m10. I think somewhere, go back a few moves. I think this knight here earlier was potentially winning for red-yellow. Anyways, here we are. Knight goes to m10 now. And the only way to stop immediate mate here for Roadrunner was, and I was getting really excited at this point, was to move the king there. No immediate mate, as this is a problem. So queen checks, knight checks, pawn takes, king takes, queen checks, and look at this. Michaela Ruth and I advance to the World Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible comeback from a 2-1 deficit. We beat two very strong opponents, Kuchtimi and Roadrunner. Great games. Well played to you guys. We happen to be lucky. And so Michaela Ruth and I will be in the World Championship competing together. There are a whole bunch of other teams playing in the championship. And, I must go through and figure it out. That's a good story, by the way. But here we are. Announcing Season 2, the World 4-Player Chess Teams Championship. Maybe show you a little bit about it. And we've updated some rules to make sure that the tournament goes smoother. But here are the participating qualifiers. We jumped on it immediately. We were actually on the phone saying that we definitely want to compete as a team together again. And now, big news. Valgar Grandmaster Dmitry Kononenko has decided to get out of his way to partner the almighty Lars Johan Brodgaard. I butcher last names, so I do apologize. Malberry Soap, Good Soap, Clean Windows, aka Team Car Wash, are going as a team. Malavia 86 Automatic Qualifier is partnering Typical Move. And the runner-ups, the Polish team, are coming back, competing for the title again, as are Superatos and GDI. Got knocked out 4th last year. Raphael 2528 Gramu are going in. Gramu was ranked 7th last year. Clash Royale, automatic qualifier. Tom Merrill 949 ranked on the 5th best team last year. A1T19 Gustav Klimpens are coming, and A1T19 has had a very strong showing recently. Tronic, Rupnalak, Kuchtimi, all solid players. They're going to make great showings in this tournament. And we have made our performance rankings here. Of course, the top 6 or 7 have been selected. To be continued, selecting if players don't confirm. But anyways, what a great tournament it is to be looking forward to. I wish all that are competing in this World Chess Championship, their 4-player chess teams, all the best of luck. And that'll be it for this video. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.